In this video, let's talk about how to create a sample database and sample tables for the first time in the SQL Server. Earlier, we talked about how to connect to the SQL Server for the first time. So, let me show you how to create now sample database and tables actually. So, to create table or database, we have different ways. The first way I'm going to talk about using query. Okay, so first way I'm talking about using query. Second way I'm going to talk about using designer. Okay, the same scenario even for a database or tables. First time I connected to the SQL Server. So if you see for the first time, if you connect, so you will be seeing a window like this. Okay, you will be seeing the name of the server and the version number and hyphen what is the login you use to connect to this particular one. So if you see my server name or my computer name is Venkat-PC. Within the bracket I can see SQL Server 15.0. It is nothing but SQL 2019 hyphen what login you used it. So I logged in with my Windows credentials. That is the reason why it is showing Venkat-PC/Venka. Okay, if you log in with SQL authentication, you won't get the PC name, you'll get only that name of the user. And you can see databases, security and server object and so on, you get it like this. Okay, and SQL agent is disabled, we'll talk about slowly. Okay, in the database, how to create a database for the first time is, I told you like I'll be showing you by using query. So you just simply click on new query. So once you click on new query, you'll get like this. Okay, by using a query, what syntax you need to use? To create any object, you need to use a create keyword in a SQL Server. Create keyword. After that, what are you trying to create? I am trying to create a database. If you are trying to create a database, you need to use a keyword database. Then name of the database. So you should give a meaningful name. You cannot give a test or something like that. So what is the purpose of the database you are planning? You need to give that suitable name. Best practices you need to follow. Okay, so since I'm going to show you a couple of examples, I'm going to create a sample database. Name is sample or testing. I can put whatever the database I want. So I'm going to go with a, for the first time I'm creating, I'm going to give the name like this. But second time onwards, I'll give a meaningful name. I cannot give a testing or sample or examples. I should maintain the project standards. We'll talk about standards. So once you are ready with this query, you need to execute this by using functional key F5. Okay, or you can click on execute button, which you have it. Both are same. Okay, so let's once you are done with this, and you just click on execute button here, which you have here. Okay, let's click on it. So once you do this, so you can see at the bottom, commands complete successfully and completion time is so and so. Okay, so now the database has been created. So can I see this database here? Of course, yes, you can see, since it is completed successfully. If there are any errors, you will get an error message saying that something is wrong. I'll show you that scenario as well within now only. Let's simply refresh it and expand this. You can see your example database testing. Okay, it is empty database only. So you can see other examples and sample. Those are previous database which I created for other purposes. Okay, first time you created testing. Okay, so now testing database created. So since it syntax correct, it has been created successfully, but something is wrong. Let me try to give a one more statement or let me give a wrong spelling. Instead of database, I made as database, and I'm trying to create testing one. So since name testing already there, I'm trying to create. So if I give a wrong spellings, if I try to execute this, of course my system is more intelligent than me. It identifies and it gives unknown object database using the create, drop or alter statement. So this keyword is unknown to the MySQL engine. That is the reason why it is failing. So if once I give, so it shows you. And if you observe very carefully, okay, you have some red lines at the bottom. So it indicates something is wrong actually. Okay. So once I give here a correct spelling, then those red lines will go off. Okay, intelligent facility we have by default. This is how we create databases by using query. Okay, since I am creating for the first time, I'm not talking about a little location of the files. Whenever you create a database physically in the server, it creates two files. So one is the MDF file, data file, the other one is LDF, log file. So we'll talk about later log file. So for every database, minimum you will be having two files. One is MDF file, data file. Second is LDF file, log file. So here I have not specified those file locations. So by default, it goes into the installation location. So, but still I have a comfort to specify those locations actually. I'll show you that as well. So this is how you need to specify the location. Create database examples, and you can remove this, and name, you need to give name of the file also. You can give a different name rather than name of the database, and file name, as I mentioned, you should be giving like this. Okay, examples.mdf. By default it creates MDF and LDF by use with the database name only, but still you can change now while creating. If you are doing like this, you can change, but if you are doing like this, you will not be able to do any changes. Okay, and if you go physically to these locations, you will be having one file name with MDF, one with like this examples_log.ldf. So physically the data which I am going to insert, it stores in this location. Okay, if I am planning to store more data, I need to make space available in this C drive. Okay, so and you can specify the size as by default size and max size. You can limit or unlimited. Here it is unlimited max size for data file, but for log file I specified as 2048 GB. My system capacity is not this much even. Just I specified like this for example. Okay, file growth, how much file growth you want to keep, you can specify here. So this is how you need to specify the location of the MDF and LDF files. Okay, so even this is also by using query only. Okay, the next one is by using designer, which I talked about. So how to create a database by using designer. So let's come to the here this window. Okay, let's right click on databases, click on new database. So once you click on new database, here it will ask for the name of the database. So I'm going to make it as a testing one, since testing I already gave, because the name of the database is unique in the entire server. That's the reason why I'm keeping this one, testing one. And the owner, by default I'm okay with the default. And here you can see, so logical file name, here I can change again as mentioned. Logical file name of log file I can change. Here this one you can see file type rows data log, I cannot change this. Even file groups I cannot change. Okay, primary, and this I can change. But anyway, by default it's a log file, I cannot now, since I have an option, but still I cannot. Initial sizes, as I mentioned, I can change. Even I can do this. The location also I can change here. And if I want to give any different file names, I can specify here. But I'm okay with the default names. Let's click on OK once you're all done. Sorry. So now test one is created. Okay. So even the test one also is created in the same location because I did not change the location of the files. Okay. So this is how we will be creating database by using query and by using designer. So next, how to create a table by using query and by using designer we'll talk about. So to create any object in the SQL Server, you need to use a create keyword only. So simple create. So if you are planning to create a table, you need to use a table keyword. If you are planning to create a database, you need to use a database keyword. If you are planning to create a procedure, you need to use a procedure keyword. Now next one, name of the object, name of the table. So I'm going to make it as employee. Okay. So name of the object, and I need to specify the column names. Okay. So ID. So name of the employee ID. Type integer, comma, name or EMP name. Okay, varchar of 50. That's it. 2 columns are okay. So here I am planning to create employee table with 2 columns, ID and employee name. Okay, so here the name I specified as a ID I specified as integer, employee name I am specifying as a varchar with size of 50. So it allows 50 letters up to that. Now once you are done with it, select the piece of the query. Since I already have something at the top, I cannot execute entire window. Select the piece, or if you are having an empty window and you are writing like this, then you can directly click on execute. But in this scenario, I already have something, okay, which is English language, not others. Okay, so let's select the piece, and if now I'm trying to tell you, if you want to execute only piece of the window, you can select that piece, then you can click on execute. So now you can see commands complete successfully. And okay, let me create this table in testing database. Okay, so here you need to select the name of the database testing and create this. Okay, employee. Yeah, commands complete successfully and completion time. Okay, so now the table has been created by using query. Can I see these tables? Of course, yes. So you come to the testing and expand this. Once you expand any database, you will be having like this DB diagrams, tables, views, and so on. And let's expand the tables. In the tables, you have system tables, file tables, external tables, graph tables, and employee. So nothing to worry. If you are using the old version of SQL Server, you may not be having these all options, but nothing to worry. I'm not going to talk about these all. For time being, I'm talking about only these tables, two-dimensional tables. Okay. So this is a table which I created just now with the name of dbo.employee. Why dbo came, we'll talk about slowly. Employee. Okay. This is one way of creating a table by using query. Now, second way, I'm going to show you how to create a table by using designer. But in the real time, I recommend you to go by using queries only. Even creating database also use queries only. Don't use a designer. But still, I'm showing you to show the list of available options. Now, to create a table by using designer, simply right click on the tables, click on new, click on table. So here you will get an option like this, name of the column. Okay, here we are not giving name of the table first, but I'll give you some time. Okay, now name of the column, I'm going to make it as a student ID, SID. I'm planning to create a student table. So ID is integer, nulls, let me go with it, and the student name. Okay, I'm going to make it as varchar of 50 and marks. Okay, so I'm going to make it as integer. Okay, so now I'm done with the 3 columns. Now I need to save this. Okay, no execution, save and execution is same in the designer part. Okay, let's click on save button. So once you click on save button, it is asking for the name of the table. By default, it takes table_1. That is meaningless name for me. I'm going to give you the name of the table as students, so that tomorrow if I see the list of tables, I can easily identify that table belongs to employee, this table belongs to students. Let's click on OK. So once I click on OK, table is created in the respective servers or databases. Here you have one employee table, the next one is students table. So this is how we create a table by using query or designer. So in this video we